Good morning and welcome to Thursday, June 18th, 2020. And before we start today's devotion, I want to make a correction to yesterday's devotion. Some of you may have noticed, others may not have, but it was pointed out to me through the comment section, so I appreciate the feedback. But I did make an error, and it was on me. I misread the text. Basically, it was describing when in the Garden of Eden, when Satan was tempting Eve, Satan told Eve that she would be like a god if she disobeyed God's law. And I misspoke and I said if she obeyed God's law, she would be like a god. And I had that backwards, so my apologies. This is really all I can do to rectify it is by issuing a correction. So that's point number one I wanted to make. Point number two, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that in the not too distant future, my devotions are going to change, but not in any way that's going to affect your schedule or my schedule. I am working on a new set. You know, I've been kind of bouncing around from different locations, and I need to settle down in a permanent spot that's situated properly, decorated accordingly, and I really need to buckle down. I've been doing these devotions, if you can believe it, since November 1st of last year. And I kind of did it as a trial run to see if it would take hold, and here we are, 7 or 8 months, maybe 9 months later, and it's still going strong. So I want to thank everybody that's supported me through all this, and it's to the point now where it's working, and I am getting the attention, the audience, and even feedback, which is a good thing. So that's telling me it's time to expand. It's time to move out, as the Bible would say, get off the milk and get onto the meat. And that's what I intend on doing with my channel. So again, thank you for all your support and everything. If it weren't for you guys watching these, I wouldn't have a channel or a platform to offer these devotions. So thank you so much for your support. With that, let's go ahead and get into today's devotion. And also, just to let you know, as I prepare for the upcoming changes, I'm going to continue doing the devotions as is. So there's not going to be any lapse or taking a hiatus, so to speak, from the channel. You will still have your daily devotional. I'll just be working behind the scenes at preparing the new setup. So look forward to that in the near future. So with that, today's devotion is titled, "The Works of Satan Will Be Destroyed." And I'll be reading out of the book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 8. And it reads, "He that committeth sin is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil." At the end of the world as we know it, Satan, his Antichrist, and the false prophet will be cast into the lake of fire. However, in the meantime, we have to deal with him and his trickery. Romans 6:23 tells us that the wages of sin is death. 1 John 3:4 states that sin is the transgression of God's law. Therefore, for the saved, a lifestyle of breaking God's law will bring one to an early death. Christians have a new man living in the old sin-loving fleshly body. 1 John 3:9 tells us, "Whoever is born of God doth not commit sin. For his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin, because he is born of God." There will be conflict whether or not the old or the new man will be allowed to use our body. Romans 7:23 says, "But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members." Satan still has access to the old fleshly mind, trying to convince us that his plan is better than God's plan. God has given us all the tools necessary to deal with the devil. The whole armor of God, truth, righteousness, gospel, salvation, the word, and prayer. Jesus has our backs, and God expects us to stand toe-to-toe with Satan and fight the battle of faith. That is how Christians mature and become useful to God in his kingdom work. And our final thought is, Satan is only as powerful as we allow him to be. God is with us in the foxhole. Of course, for those of you who don't know, a foxhole is a small little trench type pit that soldiers would dig up and hide in during battle to give them protection. And it's a very private but safe little zone. And when a soldier climbs in there, don't worry, you're not alone. The Lord is with you. And that's what he's telling us Christian soldiers. You are not alone. Even if you crawl into your private little foxhole, he's still there with you at all times. But it makes mention that we are to engage in battle with the enemy. We can't avoid the battle. By becoming a Christian, by putting on that uniform, that soldier of God requires that uniform. But with that, you become a target to the enemy. That's just a byproduct of enlisting in God's army. But it's a noble thing. It's a good thing. Don't worry about it. Don't fret, because as we just read, the Lord is with us. We are not alone on the battlefield. But here's the powerful thing. We are soldiers for the Almighty. We report to the Creator of the universe. He is our general. He is our supreme allied commander, if you want to use military terms. But he is more powerful and greater than our enemy. And it's already been spoken and written that we will defeat the enemy at the end. So who in their right mind would join forces with the losing side? It makes no sense. But here's the comforting thing. Even right now in the present, you have the ability and the power, because you have the Holy Spirit living within you. You have God-given power and authority over Satan. Did you know that? You have authority over Satan because you are a soldier of God. Let me read something to you. James 4:7. Remember that verse. Memorize this verse. Such a powerful verse. James 4:7 says, "Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." It's that simple. Resist the devil, and he will flee. We've won the battle. Victory is ours. You have the authority over Satan to tell him to fly away. And he will. Under the authority of Jesus Christ, he must obey you if you tell him to leave. Isn't that awesome? So with that encouraging thought, I'm going to let you go. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, we got new content coming up. When I do create my new set and we start our new devotional process, I am more than likely going to step aside from the current book and generate some new types of material in my devotion. Maybe some more heartfelt and personal devotions that I'd like to share with you. Not something pre-written and written by somebody else that may not have my thoughts in mind and my desire to share with you guys. So with that, I'll let you go. Have a great rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye.